Sheriff's Office, Commissioner 1 on you. I'm with Dan. Dan, repeat the address there, please.
It's 503 Dwayne.
7835, code 6, 105 North Avenue, 52.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 37th Annual Valor Awards Dinner. I am Chris Habermill. For 30 years, I was on the air on WBBM News Radio until July 14th of 2020, when WBBM, in the midst of what was happening, did not have room for spot news anymore. So unfortunately, no more helicopter, no more airplane, no more Mobile 780, and here I am to join you tonight. In the midst of everything, one of the new vocabulary words that we've had to learn is pivot. So I pivoted out of being at WBBM, and with my severance package, which they so kindly provided for me, I bought a towing company. So I'm now a towing mogul with 2 whole rollback trucks up in Belvedere, Illinois. When I'm not doing that, I'm a lieutenant with the Kirkland Community Fire District. I'm also their training officer, have been for the past 16 years. I was the voice of the Chicago Air and Water Show for the last 28 years on WBBM News Radio, if you tuned into that at home. And hopefully we'll have a 29th year if they decide to do it again next year. But so far, I have not heard if they're going to go back to do the Chicago Air and Water Show. Everybody in this room, there's no reason to go over what we've been through. It was a very long year this past decade or so. That's past... getting into this past year in 2020, does anybody remember 2020? Anything about 2020, really? It just was like one big blur for everybody. And I know there's a lot of folks out here who are on the front lines. You've seen it firsthand, so there's no reason to rehash that. But anybody else who may be in this room who's not a first responder and who has been in homes where we've been dealing with patients who may or may not have made it, you know that there's been a lot of stress. And you are the caretakers of humanity. You are the folks here whose sworn duty, as well as your destiny, your calling, was to take care of people who could not or would not take care of themselves. So you are to be highly lauded here this evening and always. For when you leave here, you should also know that not only the 100 Club, but the community is looking at you as leaders and mentors and big brothers, big sisters to the community. So we can't thank you enough for your help in doing that. So I've got a bunch of gentlemen who are kind of staring me down over there with the colors. So let's go into the meat and the potatoes of this evening's meeting here, and then we're going to get some food underway. The 100 Club of DuPage County was established in September of 1982. It's a private, nonprofit, charitable organization, and it was incorporated under the laws of the state of Illinois. The club offers assistance to families of law enforcement and firefighting personnel who have been killed, injured, or otherwise stricken while residing or working in the county. We are honored to have dignitaries here tonight, state and community leaders, and people with great levels of responsibility. I see a lot of faces that I recognize out here. That have been brought in to celebrate our Valor Awards recipients and support our fire and police services. It would be difficult, albeit impossible, to recognize each and every one of you, so let's show our appreciation for everyone in this room that does so much with a round of applause. At this time, I would invite everyone to please stand for the presentation of the colors by the Wheaton Police Department Honor Guard, Bagpiper Chief Brian Cunningham from the Woodridge Police Department, and please remain standing for the national anthem sung by Lisa Savagnago and the invocation by Chaplain Dan Sullivan. Please. Prepare to post colors.
No, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare of the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Order. Arms. Right. Face. Forward. March.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's bow our heads for a moment. God of the universe, God of our hearts, we thank you for the gift of this night, gift of those present in this room, and the gift of those who serve and protect us. We ask you to bless those who support law enforcement and fire service personnel, especially the members of the 100 Club of DuPage, who quite literally have their backs. Be with us tonight as we honor in a special way the valor of officers Brian Phillips and Ryan Polito. Their selfless service reminds us of that which is good in our world. Bless, too, the food and fellowship we share tonight. Amen.
My name is Lisa Savignago, and I am the president of the board of the Hunter Club of DuPage County. Thank you for taking the time to come out on a school night, to come here and to support our wonderful firefighters and police officers. These people put their lives on the line, and they do a job that we can't do ourselves, that I can't do. And I thank God every day that they are there, protecting me, protecting my family, protecting my community, my business. I want to let everybody who is a sworn officer here, if you've done it in the past, you're retired, even our military people, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. There are people out there that love you and respect you. We know that it is a hard job, and you are trained and you do your best. So thank you. Thank you for being here tonight and for supporting them. So in the program, it's an awesome program. Please, you'll find the club's annual report, the review of the club's events, a listing of our fabulous dinner sponsors, our corporate members, and also a list of donors. And I would like to recognize and thank those dinner sponsors tonight. So bear with me. They gave a lot of money tonight to put this show on. So please stand if any of you guys are here. So Hervas, Condon, and Bersani, are any of you guys here? Please wave. You didn't have to stop. You know, thank you so much. You've been supporting us for several years now, so thank you so much. Also, Lauterbach and Amen. There's Laney back there. Metro Norcom. I know somebody's here. Yay! You can wave. Stand. Thank you. Milner and Associates. It's okay. It's okay. Nameplate and Panel Technology, which is my company, and I have some of my people here, so wave. One of my favorites, I'm going to say this name, just Addison, Donolfo, Hassenbalg, and Castaldo. Where are you? Railside Citrus Insurance Agency, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Oh, there, I saw that back there. Sawyer Felduto Asset Management, one of my board members. And SBC Waste Solutions. So thank you very much to those dinner sponsors. So we are truly grateful to those donations received and continue to welcome any individual group or organization to name the Hunter Club as your charity for your event, tribute, or memorial. And to name a few events that were held in the Hunter Club's honor, I want to mention Mark Horner and his team at Fairhaven Wealth Management in Wheaton bravely hosted a large charity golf event called the Halfway to St. Patrick's Day. And they support the club both in 2020 and 2021. Also, Warrenville's Rock Bottom Restaurant and Brewery held some fundraisers for us as well. The famous Fire Chief Chili Cook-Off, our Dine Out Night, and the Fire Chief Ale Tapping. And in the fall, this was something new. The Iron Warriors of Joliet. They're made up of current and retired law enforcement firefighters, and they held a motorcycle rally that raised funds for the Hunter Club. We also received memorial donations. Donations in honor of John Potempa. He was a U.S. Navy veteran. Mr. Potempa served as a police officer in Skokie and Rosemont, and as police chief in Bloomingdale. His passion for investigation led him to open his own firm, PPI, Potempa Private Investigations. And we also received a memorial donations in honor of Chief Rel Blust. He served on multiple departments, including Glenside Fire Protection District and the Addison Fire Protection District. So for anyone who's ever written a check, attended an event, or just taken the time to consider the Hunter Club as a beneficiary, I want to say thank you. What a wonderful way to show our first responders that they are very, very loved. So, I want to let you know that 2021 is bringing big positive changes to us. Earlier this year, the board of directors voted to offer a membership option for active duty personnel and their families. We welcome everyone. So please log on to 100clubofdupage.org and click on the membership button at the top and choose your membership option. Also this year, the Hunter Club of Chicago announced their 2021 expansion initiative to become the 100 Club of Illinois, to offer financial and support services to all sworn federal, state, county, and local first responders stationed in Illinois. The Hunter Club of DuPage County is thrilled to be affiliated with the Hunter Club of Illinois, and we will work side by side to provide the best support for all of our first responders and their families. Now, while we will continue with our fundraisers here in the county to support our Compassionate Benefit program and the Hunter Club Award of Valor, we also have taken the steps to increase the line of duty death benefit from $10,000 to $50,000. If a line of duty death occurs here in DuPage County, the family will have the full support of what both the Hunter Club of DuPage and the Hunter Club of Illinois has to offer. And to talk a little bit about that and those programs and the resources, I am honored to introduce to you the CEO of the Hunter Club of Illinois, Caitlin Brennan.
Thank you to Lisa, and I do want to say, as she said so eloquently, when we decided to take the Hunter Club of Chicago, which made up 3 counties in Cook Lake and McHenry, and make it a statewide organization. It was really as a complement to all of the people who are working so hard for our first responders in this state. It came from a place of we can do more, and we can all do more for our first responders. For 55 years, we've been providing line of duty death benefits to families at the $50,000 level. We've also been providing higher education to all of the surviving dependents to the tune of 367 dependents who've gone through trade all the way up to medical school with the Hunter Club of Illinois. So we came in with that knowledge and that ability and some other services that we provide to families too. But with the statewide expansion said, why don't we wrap our arms around this collective first responder community, work with partners who are doing it well in other counties, and bring everybody up to that same level. So those are the types of line of duty benefits that will also be welcomed to any family that should go through that tragedy in DuPage County. So that everybody throughout the state will be at that same level. And then on top of that, we went and did some active duty first responder programming. So we now offer wellness trainings, resiliency trainings, emergency funding for first responders to help them be resilient on the job, and also a bunch of other programming that's free to all of our first responders throughout the state. So there's trainings that we can put on and also emergency funding if you need training brought to your department. So again, just trying to be a partner in a lift for the rest of the state. And Lisa and I have known each other for quite a few years working in these roles and couldn't be happier. There were tears exchanged on the phone call when we called to make sure that we could do this as a group and as a team and bring services to everyone. So I'm so excited to collaborate, to be part of your family. I consider it family. So I'm proud and I'm happy to be able to do that and really see what we can all do together to help our first responders. So thank you.
Thank you. So creating connections, steadfast relationships, and providing lasting resources is so that the Hunter Club can continue to thrive for generations to come is a large part of what the board of directors do. They give their time, their talent, their advice, and their leadership. And I am honored and humbled to work with such brilliant minds who volunteered to make this club what it is today. And I would like to introduce to you the 2021 and 2022 board of directors. So please stand when I call your name. If you're in the room, Michelle Burr, Stephen Donolfo, John Feldudo, continue standing. Sean Flood, Bernadette LaRocca, Michael Ladon, John Milner, AJ Novak, Lisa Savanago, Martin Tully, Martin Walker, where are you, babe? And Kathleen Yasko. These are our board of directors. Give them all a hand. We will be electing our officers in November. And now the work of the Hunter Club is not possible without the support of the DuPage County Chiefs of Police Association and the DuPage County Fire Chief Association. Each association appoints two liaisons to the Hunter Club. These liaisons are responsible for assisting and promoting the club's goals and objectives. Specifically, they serve in the advisory capacity to the board of directors. So I would like to acknowledge and to thank our current liaisons. So you need to come to the podium as I call your name. So retired Fire Chief Bob Tanucci, come on up. Chief Steve Riley of Westmont Fire Department. Those are our two fire chief liaisons. And on the police side, Chief Shannon Gillette of Downers Grove. And from the Wheaton Police Department, Chief Bill Murphy. There you go. invited all 4 of the police liaisons to join me up here because we would like to recognize Chief Andy Bonomo. So Chief Andy, please come to this stage. Where are you? Yay. So if you want to come up this way and stand right there. So the reason why we're bringing up Chief Andy Bonomo is the chief just retired on August 31st from the York Center Fire Protection District. Come on over here. You can stand right here. So he retired there after 49 years of service. And the last 34 years, you served as fire chief, correct?
I did.
Holy moly. I didn't know you could do that, but you're allowed to. So Chief Bonomo has served as the liaison, one of our liaisons to the board for many years. So all of us here just want to say thank you, and I just wanted to give you a hug because I didn't get to do it.
Thank you so much.
Do you want to say 2 words?
Just a few words.
Just 2 words.
Okay, this has caught me by surprise, so please bear with me here. I think I said enough words on my retirement, but I work for a great organization, York Center. I've got great leaders that took over my position and the deputy chief's position, and I've worked for a phenomenal organization, the 100 Club. If you ever have an opportunity to support this organization, you could find a place in your heart to do so. They go above and beyond anything that you can imagine. When you sit in the board meetings and we negotiate what will you do to make life better for everybody out here, they truly put you folks first. So Lisa, I wasn't prepared for this. I truly do appreciate it. God bless all of you and keep up the phenomenal job you do. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much.
So thank you, my chief liaisons. I just wanted to see who they were. So thank you for your service and being the eyes and ears of the county for us. And just bringing this to a closure here, I also want to thank our Michelle Burr, our board member Michelle Burr. She actually designed and got these programs printed. So thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you for that. Elizabeth Leahy, who takes care of our reservations. Jim Hoke, who is our wonderful photographer. Yeah. A couple more thank yous here. Our Hunter Club administrator is Michelle Rice, but her colleague Lainey Gaborski, are you there? Yes, Gabowski is here, and they're from Lauterbach and Amen, so thank you. Very grateful to the Hilton, the Doubletree Hilton staff. We appreciate and continue their continued generosity and loyalty and commitment to the Hunter Club, so thank you. And one more special thank you actually is our film crew. The wonderful things that you're going to see tonight is actually produced and filmed and written by a group of fabulous people. Paul Thompson, who's behind the camera, has been doing this for us for the last 20 years. And he's starting to kind of step down, and Kevin Williams, a friend of his and colleague, he's not here tonight, but he is going to continue making our films. And also I want to thank you, Sal Garcia, for coming out tonight and for being here. So those are all my thank yous. Let's get on with the rest of the program.
The members of the 100 Club show the men and women who serve and protect us that their sacrifices, that their lives and their families are very, very important. I mean, that you cannot imagine, especially in recent times here, we've had a couple of peaks after 9/11, and now the realization that our first responders are kind of the glue that hold this nation together, and our collective conscience and our collective sewing kit that keeps the nation going. in times of crisis. It's never been more important than now. So as stated earlier, the Hunter Club is dedicated to helping families, police officers and firefighters who put their lives on the line every day doing a dangerous job that we can't do ourselves. That's why we're here to honor everyone, these individuals, and that's why we come here annually to the Valor Awards dinner. The Award of Valor, I want to tell you about it. It is for extraordinary service. This is a big deal. The act of valor is an outstanding act of bravery or heroism, which is undertaken in the face of personal injury or risk to life, and which displays the personal characteristics of selflessness and devotion above and beyond the call of duty. The Award of Valor shall be considered a lifelong award. The same recipient can be awarded the Award of Valor more than once. To be eligible for the Valor Award, the recipient must be a law enforcement officer or a firefighter whose primary work or assignment is in DuPage County, and who, while in the performance of their duty in DuPage County, performs an act of valor. At this time, I would like to invite any past recipients of this prestigious award that may be in attendance tonight to please stand, and let's give them a round of applause. If there is anyone here who has been a past recipient, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, standing before you are past Valor Award recipients. Thank you so much for your service, thank you for your dedication, and thank you for those heroic acts that brought you the Award of Valor. And now, this is a moment we have been waiting for. The Hunter Club of DuPage County is honored to announce the 2020-2021 Valor Award recipients. We'll start with a video.
You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone. Anyone I ever met. Ooh, I'm stuck on your heart. I hang on every word you say. Oh, tears apart. No, no, no. Baby, I would rather be dead. Each time you leave me, I start losing control. Walking away with my heart and my soul. I can feel you even when I'm alone. Oh, baby, don't let go.
Good evening. I'm David Peterson, Chief of Police with the Forest Preserve District of DuPage County. It's a great honor to be here this evening and recognize Officer Brian Phillips from our department. On May 18th at about 11:45 p.m., a call came out over our dispatch, which is shared with the DuPage County Sheriff's Department. The call was for a vehicle engulfed on fire and possibly rolled over near the intersection of 79th and Green Road in unincorporated Woodridge. Officer Brian Phillips was in the preserve at that time of Green Valley and quickly responded to the scene, where he arrived and saw a vehicle fully engulfed in fire. He quickly deployed his fire extinguisher and attempted to use it, but was unable to do anything to the fire. Concerned that someone might be in the vehicle, he quickly went over to the passenger side, broke the window out as Deputy Krause from the Sheriff's Department arrived on scene. Officer Phillips saw an occupant of the vehicle and pulled the 18-year-old male out of the vehicle. Pulled him away far enough and then shielded him as the vehicle actually had a large explosion. Officer Phillips stayed with him until Woodridge Fire Department arrived on scene, and the occupant was later transported to Edwards Hospital. Unfortunately, he succumbed to the injuries and passed away. Officer Phillips was treated at Edwards Hospital as well for minor burns, abrasions, and a back injury, but was quickly released. I can't say how proud I am for Officer Phillips' actions that day, for putting himself in harm's way in an attempt to save the life of another individual. Thank you to the DuPage 100 Club for awarding him the Award of Valor, and thank you to the DuPage 100 Club for what you do for the law enforcement and fire department community and those families who've lost individuals in the line of duty.
Officer Brian Phillips, Chief David Peterson, please come forward to accept the award.
First, I'd like to thank everybody who's here tonight, everybody who helps support the DuPage 100 Club. Thank you again, what you guys do for the law enforcement and fire community here in DuPage. Thank you for all the first responders that are in this room for the job you do every single day, and for everybody again who's here to help support. It truly is an honor to be here tonight to honor Brian Phillips. I'm grateful for what he did that night. I'm glad he was okay, and truly put himself after, not before, after, and tried to save the life of another. It's unfortunate that the individual passed away, but thank you, Brian Phillips, for a job well done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just had a couple of thank yous of myself. Would like to thank my chief for nominating me for this award. Appreciate it. I would also like to thank the following people for their support and coming to the dinner tonight. President of the Forest Preserve, Dan Hebriard. Executive Director of the Forest Preserve, Carrie Freeling. Lieutenant Shelley Jandura. And Sergeant Ron Fabiani. I would also like to thank the DuPage 100 for the Valor Award. It is with great honor to receive it and to stand up here with fellow first responders. I would like to finish by sharing something my 8-year-old son said. Some of you met him today. He's kind of a spark plug, Ty Phillips. He happened to overhear what happened. A lot of parts of the job, I don't really, get him involved with it. But he happened to overhear what happened, and he was playing his video games. And when you're playing a Nintendo Switch, sometimes audio exclusion happens, and he doesn't hear a thing. It's hard to get him to get away from his video games. But he overheard me talking with my wife about the incident the next day, and he stopped doing what he was doing. And he ran up to me and hugged me. And he said, "I'm glad nothing bad happened to you. I'm glad you're okay." Didn't even cross my mind that something like that would have happened, but it did with an 8-year-old kid. The more I think about my son saying this to me, the more I realize this is exactly what the DuPage 100 is all about. And it's about the bond between first responders and their families and their loved ones. My wife said I was going to get emotional. I said, no, there's no way. But I just wanted to say thank you to the DuPage 100 for having our backs as first responders and looking out for our families. It's a great honor to be up here, and thank you so much.
Move on to our next award recipient from the Roselle Police Department.
I'm Steve Herron. I'm the Chief of Police of the Roselle Police Department. On July 9th, 2020, at 11:30 p.m., our officers were dispatched to a female who was attempting to commit suicide by drowning at Goose Lake Park Pond. As Officer Polito and other officers arrived, they began searching for this distressed female. Officer Polito began searching by the use of his flashlight and actually searching through the brush on the sides of the pond as it was overgrown. Officer Polito eventually located a female who was in distress, coughing, and seeming to gasp for breath in the water.
Over here.
He entered the pond in an attempt to locate her. As he entered the pond, he found that she was not near him, but was actually on the other side of the pond. So he exited the pond and began searching again for her until he did finally locate her as she came up out of the water, gasping for air. Officer Polito radioed other officers and immediately entered the pond, and he determined the best way to locate her was to swim directly across the lake to her. As he swam across the lake, he began radioing her position. As the female saw Officer Polito swimming towards her, she began swimming towards the shoreline. Officer Polito radioed other officers, advising that she was swimming towards that shoreline. Once the female was on the shore, she began running away in an effort to escape Officer Polito and apparently other officers that were responding to the scene. Officer Polito exited the water and began running towards her last known location. He located her about 20 yards from the shoreline. He immediately began rendering aid to her. He obviously saw she was in distress. She was coughing and gasping for air. As other officers were preparing to arrive, the female attempted several times to escape Officer Polito. Officer Polito feared that she was running back towards the water, so he held her and waited for the paramedics to arrive. Once the paramedics arrived, they were able to give her aid and get her transported to a local hospital for treatment. I am very proud of all of our officers. I'm also very proud of Officer Polito for this heroic act. I'd like to thank the Hunter Club of DuPage for awarding Officer Polito this Award of Valor. Thank you.
Congratulations, Officer Ryan Polito and Chief Steve Herron. Please come forward to accept your award.
So I get to go first. You can be seated until he shows up. When he gets here, then you can stand up. He's the hero here, not me. I want to thank the 100 Club for certainly acknowledging Officer Polito's heroic act. There's no doubt you saw actual body cam footage of Officer Polito going in the water. It's kind of interesting how I found out about this, and I thought I'd share that with you. I didn't know until I received a request the next day to have his body cam checked for water and to have his radio checked for water. And I'm like, well, why? You know, it got wet. Okay, so I looked at the body cam footage. Well, I realized that he's submerged. He was in water. He was past his shoulders. He was transmitting on the radio. So for all the fire guys, Chief Conley, it does transmit underwater. But the radios do actually work underwater. And he was actually communicating throughout this entire time. When I checked with Officer Polito the next day, or a couple of days later, it wasn't until a couple of days later, I'm like, what the heck did you do? I mean, oh my gosh. And he's like, yeah, she needed me to help her. And I'm like, oh, you don't teach that. That's family. That's Mom. Thanks, Mom. That's what Polito's all about. He knew that she was in distress, and he had to do something about it. The good part is, everything in his uniform survived, except for his taser. When we notified Axon what happened, Axon said, no, we'll replace it for free. So they shipped out a brand new taser for us. But again, thank you, 100 Club, for this great honor. Officer Polito, good work. I still question exactly why, but the water was 10 feet deep. So he was in over his head and was able to tread water. So congratulations. Thank you again.
All right, so congratulations to Officer Brian Phillips. That was absolutely fantastic what you did. Thank you very much to all of our first responders, past and present, for everything that you guys do on a daily basis. And you know, sometimes we don't, or you guys don't all get the recognition that you deserve, but obviously it is appreciated. And again, thank you so much to the 100 Club of DuPage for this incredible award. It's an honor to be here today. And thank you very much to my beautiful wife, Amanda, my mom, Lynn, mother-in-law, Debbie, sister, Ashley, and the rest of my family for all the love and support throughout my entire life and my career. Thank you guys all so much. Appreciate it.
All right, you'll notice that there are plaques and also the bestowing of the award. It goes around your neck. There's also a ribbon that goes with that. And there's the larger plaque that goes on display at the police station. Goes along with the chief, and will stay there. Again, this is a lifetime award, so gentlemen, Great job. Thank you very much for exemplifying the first responders of DuPage County, of the nation, and around the world. Thank you very much. Well, it's come to that time, folks. The most dangerous part of any dinner is the long drive home. So we're going to go ahead and proceed to wrap things up here. On behalf of the Board of Directors and the members of the 100 Club, we thank you for coming out this evening. Whether you're an annual participant or here for the first time, we hope that you will join us again here next year. And we already know what kind of a heavy-duty decade this last year was. So we're going to certainly make plans to be here again next year. Over the years, the 100 Club has helped both firefighters and police personnel and their families through medical tragedies and untimely deaths. Loss of life, injury, or sickness is never easy. And that's part of what we do as a club, is to be there in a family's time of need. This is why your participation this evening, your membership, your donation to our club is important. Without these funds, we'd not be able to assist the sworn personnel who put their lives on the line for us every day. Now, please stand as Chaplain Dan Sullivan leads us in the benediction, and please continue standing for the retiring of the colors.
Let's bow our heads, friends. God of the universe, God of our hearts, we thank you for your presence among us tonight. Thanks for the courageous men and women who continue to rise up year after year to serve the men, women, and children of our county. Help us to continue to do good work in support of those who serve the public. Bless our families and grant us a safe journey home tonight. Amen. And now the Wheaton Police Department Honor Guard, assisted by Bagpiper Chief Brian Cunningham, will retire the colors.